What up, OKC fans?
Let me
We're
hide my
back.
shirt so they don't think I'm biased.
The trio, we are back. No. He has a Rockets one, but we're gonna show some love. More than likely, talk about the young core of the Oklahoma City Thunder, what we think of y'all, what we think of y'all's draft picks. You have a plethora of them in the next 7 years. I think it's like
Okay.
35 of them.
See?
Where y'all want to get started at?
Can I start with my Chet take?
Go for it.
Coming out of college, everyone said he's way too thin and he needs to bulk up, but it's going to be impossible playing a full season. So in a way, I don't think I created this take, but I think in a way getting hurt in the long run may have been good for him in the long run. I think
I get what you're saying. Like it gave him the opportunity to naturally put on weight. I agree. I think I know where you're going with that. I agree with that.
Because everyone's like, I don't know. It's tough when you get this, and they had enough. And honestly, if you think about it, and at the time it was devastating, and rightfully so. It also gave Jalen Williams more time to shine that he wouldn't have had otherwise. Both Jalen Williams. So, in a weird way, that injury I think helped. Obviously, you don't want him to get hurt. I think it's better off if he doesn't get hurt, obviously. But you can make an argument that by giving Jalen Williams more playing time last year, the better one, that was messed up. Did you see that interview?
Hold on. Which one are you considering the better one? The 3 or the 5?
The 5.
I think the small forward is better.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
I'm getting my Jalen Williams. How do you spell it? E-N?
So that's the small forward right there.
Yeah. I think he played at Santa Clara.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's the better one. Okay, sorry. I only knew.
No, but you are correct. Like it gave you the opportunity to find out that the other Jalen Williams is more than serviceable in the NBA. So you don't have to worry about big men now. You know.
Right, and even Poku. I think Poku is like a myth and a joke, but like he's not a bad player, and that's another guy who got more minutes. I mean, it's not like Chet was going to take all these guys' minutes, but like there's only one ball, and once again, I don't think they prefer for him to get hurt, obviously, but it really opened the developmental doors, and I think they're better off as a franchise. And Chet could put on more muscle because it takes forever to put on muscle when you're burning that much in a full season.
And let me tell you why that's more important. Well, see, it's funny you bring up Wemby. Chet plays way more physical than Wemby, so he needs that muscle. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Chet gets the credit for how physical he plays because he bangs. Like, he ain't scared of shit. And he needed that muscle. And you're right. Like, it's really hard to put on mass when you're burning that many calories, running that much on that frame. Especially when you're like in Oklahoma City and it's hot as hell anyway. So you're sweating all your water out. It's like it's hard to keep things down. I like it. He looked good in summer league to me. I actually think Chet Holmgren wins Rookie of the Year this year.
Take. I kind of like that. I don't mind that take either. I can't wait for Spurs OKC. I want to see those two go at it. Like, I hope that's an opening week. I think it will be. They play usually 4 times a year, so I hope that's opening week.
I think they'll try to hide Wemby in that game. I really do.
Wemby's competitive though.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think he knows. He's like, I ain't trying to do that. He's like, why am I go mess with Chet, who's my size, when I could go try to post up Jalen Williams? Maybe I can get a switch and go post up Dort. You know what I mean?
I mean, for me, like Chet versus Wemby and Chet versus Evan Mobley are like two that I'm like.
Because Mobley's sturdier than both those guys.
Yeah.
But I think rim protection wise, both those guys are better. Well, we'll see with Wemby, but I think
my biggest matchup I want to see is Chet versus Giannis. Like that's the like obviously Giannis got the advantage, but I want to see how Chet embraces that because you know what I mean? Because last year when the Bucks came to Houston, Jabari Smith embraced that and we beat the Bucks. It's like, Chet, are you going to do the same? You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say you got to be the best player on your team or anything like that. I just want to see if you have a pair on you.
Yeah.
Like that's my go-to in the league. Is if you can go against Giannis, you got a pair on you.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. Like Giannis hates a strong word, but there's guys that rub him the wrong way. And Giannis is such a competitor that every time he doesn't trust someone, I don't trust one. He despises the shittier Wagner brother. What's his name? Not Franz.
Mo Wagner.
Mo Wagner. He hates him. And I don't know what Wagner did, but he just despises him. And he respects the other Wagner, which is really funny. And then Blake Griffin was the same way. Because Blake Griffin's a punk. Blake Griffin does all this stupid shit and he's washed. But anyway, you're right. I think how Chet, I would love to see just how he defend. I don't think they'd match him up. But if they did, or if Giannis is on a
there's
runaway,
absolutely no way on God's green earth that Chet Holmgren is going to let Giannis get in a half-court situation and not try to check him. I believe that Chet has something in. I just want to see if that dog is there. I think it's there. Now show it to me. I'm a Chet fan.
Like a young Giannis would go at Carmelo. He would go at anyone he played, even Kobe, and that earned a lot of respect. I want to see that from Chet too, because SGA has it. SGA doesn't care who he's going against. I think Giddy's kind of like that. Giddy's fearless. So they have these fearless guys, and you're going to be in the playoffs. I'm saying it. They're going to be in the playoffs.
If they should be like a 7 or 8 seed, like I can understand still being in a play-in, but it's because you're 7 or 8. And I would be honest, if Shai was not on that team, I would badmouth OKC all the time. Because you're our competitor on the come up, but SGA is such a good. He's everything that's good about basketball to me. Like he's one of my favorite players to watch, and he's like a little bit throwback because he don't get the credit for being the mid-range monster that he is. And I just fucking love watching Shai play basketball, man. I really do. I'm so jealous he's on y'all's team.
Remember, I guess 2 years ago when we did our first as this big three, did our first preview in the Southwest Division. We're like, it has like weird potential, but it's kind of a shitty division right now. And then last year, we're like, there's a lot of these teams that are about to take that next step. And we were both kind of like that with OKC, with Houston. This year, that division is going to be insane. Even if it's not the best, and even if a Western finalist doesn't come from it, it's going to be a fun-ass division to watch in the regular season.
I agree.
So many teams on the come-up.
I would be excited if I'm an Oklahoma City fan. You would not get me to shut up. You can't get me to shut up now, and I'm a Rockets fan. So imagine if I had Shai on my team. I mean, I like Giddy. Like, I don't know, the team's just put together. They're almost like reinventing a blueprint on how to put a team back together. Like how to blow it up and do it.
Oh, OKC's in the Pacific, right?
I thought they were in our division.
Are they? I always forget the division.
That. We still play them like 6 times.
For Seattle.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
They need to move. Memphis needs to move to the east. You can move. I don't know who moved.
Memphis to the east and give us Atlanta.
In the west?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, they're about the same. Almost. Yeah. I think what it'll be if they add Vegas, then they'll move Memphis over. But anyway, no matter what division OKC's in, those are the desert Southwest, we can call it, is going to be I think Dallas. This sounds really shitty because they have arguably the best player out of the state of Texas and Oklahoma, but I think they have the bleakest future of any of them.
They're pot committed, so it has to work for you right now. Because you don't have. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you don't get to plan anything for the future because you're all in right now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And teams like Houston, OKC, San Antonio, like we still can make moves. We haven't did anything drastic. I don't know.
So
the only thing that makes me nervous about OKC is you're so young. Are you going to get production off the young guys coming off the bench?
Can I ask you a dumb question?
Yeah.
Could SGA become better than Luka?
It depends on who you ask right now who's better. Like, personally, I think Luka will get the nod from most people because he's got those stats, like, on the assist column that says he makes people better. But if you're a basketball fan, I mean, if you're a real hooper and you watch them both play, I would rather play with SGA.
I can't stand a lot of national basketball analysts when they say there's a draft, you pick one player to build your franchise around. Almost everyone says Luka without like hesitation over Giannis, over anyone else, and
It
they
never
say
crosses
he's
my
the
mind.
best scorer. I don't get it. Like, and they always say like, if you disagree, you don't watch basketball. It's like, no, people watch basketball, and Luka is an amazing player, but like, I don't. He just rubs me the wrong way. If
What it is?
the player
Is because you recognize what's going on. If I have SGA, I can build a basketball team around him with basketball players. Luka is like so good at the 3 or 4 things that he does well that you have to get a bunch of specialists to cover up his weakness, which is pretty much everything on defense. Right. So it's really hard to get basketball players to play with him, not just shooters and 3 and D players. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
If he gave a shit, I'm not saying he doesn't give a shit overall, but he shows up every year out of shape. So it takes him until like December or January to play him back into shape. Where SGA and the Giannis's and all these guys are busting their ass all summer to get better. I'm not saying he's just sitting on his ass eating Whataburger, but you can't be the best player, the number 1 pick in this hypothetical draft if you don't put in the work like these other guys are. So
also, it's like if Shai averaged over 30 points last year and he was also first team All NBA, but his usage rate was so much lower, then doesn't that help the team in theory?
And they made the play-in.
Yeah,
Dallas didn't.
So I think it's just they don't get as much advertisement from the big market of it all, and which it's kind of sad because one thing we do talk about a lot in our videos is those smaller markets.
Yes.
And they don't put anything of Shai in there because I remember when he got the nod for it, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, Shai made it," and then I'm like, "Bro, this dude's been balling. He dominated our Rockets twice in the game." I was like, "Oh wow," but you nod your head at it, and you're like, "This dude's a bad man right there. Like that's a bad dude right there."
That's another topic for a whole nother video, but it's like the line of Canadian players who just don't get the love. You know what I mean? Like even when Steve Nash was at his height, like nobody showed him the love he deserved. You know, Jamal Murray, they talking about would you say rating him 83 on 2K?
Yeah,
it's like what
2K.
The hell are you talking about?
Well, I mean, Durant was considered a top 2 or 3 guy with OKC. Like it's not like you can't, but it does take you longer to get the recognition you deserve. And I think part of it is for a while last year, it was like, oh, he's putting up 30 points, but it's a shitty team. What does it matter? Or it's like a little fluky. But no, he maintained it. The team was good. They made the play-in. So I don't think there's anything fluky about it. He just keeps getting better. And it was funny, before last season, everyone was like, you should trade SGA right now. It's the highest value you're going to get. They should trade SGA. And they kept him, and that was smart. And now look, I don't know. The NBA, there's so much player movement that it affects NBA media where it's all reactionary. Like, oh, we should trade him because we're not where we are timeline-wise. But no, OKC is a very well-run franchise. And I just had someone at my work try to pitch me to move to Tulsa for half an hour. And I was like, no, I'm good. But he was making the case for Oklahoma City, Tulsa are on the rise. So,
hey, I don't know.
They finished 40-42 in the 10th spot.
40-42.
That's at least
Let's see.
They're winning 45 plus.
Yeah, I'm gonna go somewhere. I would say 47 or so is the mark for me.
And you say like the West is loaded. It is, but they have the talent and the diversity and skill set where they could beat the Western elite on a given night. Not every time, but if they're playing the Lakers and AD's out, they'll beat that team.
I think they beat that team with AD. To me, it's always going to come down to their bench. If your bench performs, then you're fine on that team. You could compete with anybody. I just don't know what you can put in, how much faith you could put on Trey Mann or Dort.
Who's the adult in that room? Who's their veteran guy? Do they have one?
Probably SGA.
Shai.
Dort has playoff experience.
I wouldn't mind they did that maybe on the fringes. I mean, they have so many young assets. You almost don't want to use a roster spot on a veteran, but just have a guy in the room to.
I'm going to say that I would not be shocked if in the next year or two they make a big trade for a big man to play with Chet. I could. Aiden, I was thinking somebody who could probably score a little bit more from the outside. I was thinking more of like a Miles Turner. Maybe even I
don't think the Pacers are blowing what they have up. The Pacers are building.
No, but if OKC comes a calling and they got picked, I like Chet in the post. I can't take him away from the post.
Yeah, you couldn't have two post guys in there.
So I need somebody who could play the post and shoot the three, preferably.
Well, that's why they were also linked to Brook Lopez initially, because that would have been a perfect Chet compliment.
Yes, it would have. That'd be a big ass team too. I like how Chet guards the rim. He don't get enough credit for that. That's all people said. Wemby guards the rim. He'll be good in the league even if that's all he does. And nobody said shit about Chet.
Put respect on Chet's name, man.
Yeah. Goofy as he looks. I like Giddy. To me, Giddy's a real basketball player. Like I would love to play with Giddy.
He's gonna get lost in the shuffle.
But I don't think he would to the real basketball fan.
No, he doesn't.
Because it's the quietest 27-7 you'll ever see.
It's like that's the 7th of
shoot that. Here, go.
This team is more. I don't know. This team is so fun because SGA is fun to watch. Giddy's fun. Jalen Williams are fun. And then you have Chet coming in the fold. Diffs, Trey Mann. So many guys that are just fun, exciting young players that, yeah, we just did a Charlotte video and they can't be as excited right now. But OKC, if you're an OKC fan, they have good fans. They got to be ecstatic.
If small forward Jalen Williams turns out to be the player that they think he's going to be, scary ass team. This is a scary team. Like it's a really well put together team too.
Very high upside. All right, OKC. Do you agree with us? 47 wins would have put them in 4th place last season.
I believe that there will be somewhere between
45.
Yeah. Well, I'll say 6, 7 AC. They'll be at the top end of the play-in to me.
I'd say 6. I think they just avoid the play-in.
44 wins.
Oh, yeah.
So, especially if they can continue to play defense that way, I'll give them that.
Well, OKC, do you agree? Do you not agree? Do you think you're number 1? Do you think you're still at the bottom? Comment, let us know if you like this type of content. We got you covered. We're going to show love to Shai, to Giddy, to Chet, and everybody else out there, even if ESPN and them don't want to do it. We got you covered.
Word.
Make sure y'all like, subscribe. We got you covered on more Thunder videos coming up because this is a fun team to watch, and I'm sure all 3 of us going to be watching some of those games. Much love, OKC. Have fun in that heat. We out.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.